Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Public Works Podcast. My name is Joseph Blackman. Today, I got a real treat for you. His name is Tim Runde, and he is the treatment manager at Des Moines Wastewater Reclamation Facility for the beautiful city of Des Moines, Iowa. Tim, say what's up to everybody.
Hey, nice to see everybody.
All right, Tim. So, treatment manager, Des Moines Wastewater Reclamation Facility. Kind of explain it to everybody again, like the scope. Who owns the water reclamation facility? Maybe it's the gallons per day, I guess the amount of pipes you have, amount of lift stations. Just give people the scope of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so the city of Des Moines, the plant here in Des Moines is actually owned and operated by the Wastewater Reclamation Authority. It's an 18-member community, so it's really all the metro communities from Norwalk up to the Polk City, from Bondurant out to Waukee Grimes. So the whole Des Moines metro. It all flows to one single plant. It is a 50 million gallon a day average flow, dry flow plant with a 200 MGD wet weather max flow. We do have a combined sewer system we have to manage during those wet weather times, and we have a dedicated combined sewer treatment facility that we can handle those flows there, or we can direct them through the rest of the plant. We have over 160 miles of interceptors that bring all the wastewater from all the metro communities into our facility. We have over 100 employees on a site that's over 100 acres.
Wow.
And then the city of Des Moines is involved as the operating contractor. So I work for the city of Des Moines at the wastewater treatment facility for the WRA, for the authority.
Okay, interesting. That's
That's a lot.
yeah. No, thanks for the context for that. Give us the day in the life of Tim, from the time you get to the office to the time you leave the office. Run us through what you're doing.
Well, on a good day, I don't have any phone calls in the middle of the night.
There's no bad days, man. Come on, man. Let's be positive.
So, yeah, I get up in the morning, get up early. I got two kids at home. So my wife and I are up early to get them off to daycare and get off to work ourselves. We get in, I get in right into my emails, check in our daily reports. So I get our Hawk WIM system sends us daily generated reports on how the facility's doing. Check those numbers. I get with my ops supervisor. He sits on the other side of the wall from me, see what has gone on during the night. Typically get a call from our land app team. They let me know if they're going to be going out to the field or what their plan is for the day. And then, yeah, we just kind of get things going, get direction out to everybody, and they go their separate ways.
Gotcha. So all day you're in the office. Do you ever get out to the field? Got a lot of meetings or?
Now, but I do try to get out in the field. I try to be active out there so everybody sees me. Every once in a while, I'll flag down one of my land app guys, hop in the truck, go check out the field. Yeah, so that's one complex thing with me. It's just not just in the facility. I oversee the land app department, the operations department, which is 24/7 operations, and then our lab pre-treatment program.
Explain. You keep saying land app. What's that?
The biosolids. So all the solids that we generate, we actually go apply them on area farm fields.
Okay.
So we have a team that hauls and spreads and incorporates that for the farmers.
Gotcha. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard land app before. Kind of give us the rundown of your career path, from high school all the way up until today. I know you didn't just wake up one day and become the treatment manager. So
yeah.
Give us your career path.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Dubuque, Iowa, right on the Mississippi, and got through high school at Hempstead High School and went up to University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, north central Wisconsin for, I thought I was going to be a forester. Realized I didn't want to count board feet. So
why a forester from high school? Like what got you?
I just really wanted to be in that natural resources arena. And it was it just really interests me, right? Walking in the woods all day long, like who wouldn't want to do that? And then it didn't click, I actually found my way into soil and waste, which is what I got my degree in, on a mass advising session. and met a professor, Aga Rosby, Dr. Rosby. He got me into the program and got me fully committed, got me really interested. I'd say it's probably my first business decision of my life. Everything else has been on a whim, and it was like, hey, this can be a great job, and it's doing all these environmental things that I really like and want to take care of. In Dubuque, we have a lot of trout streams. So I grew up trout fishing and all that, and you want to take care of those, and it's like it just really clicked with me. So then I ended up getting an internship in Wausau, Wisconsin, at their treatment plant for the city of Wausau. It's a little 5 million gallon a day plant. Pretty cool. It's a WPA project, so a work progress administration plant built in the Great Depression. So it's kind of cool to see that. And the plant I'm at now in Des Moines is one of those plants as well. Worked there for about 9 months, and found myself getting an interview down in Des Moines. Because my mom urged me to do it. I was dead set I was gonna stay in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And she's like, you gotta look at this job in Des Moines, and I applied, and it was a specialist position, so it was a wastewater operator specialist. I was dead set, like, hey, I'm straight out of college. I'm not a specialist yet. I'm not gonna get that job. Well, lo and behold, it's the job I got. So I found myself finishing up in Wausau, moving down here to Des Moines, where I started my apprenticeship program, and worked in operations for about 3 years. Spent about 9 years. Holy cow, 9 years. 9 years as the wastewater training specialist, and then I had a year now as the treatment manager. So
wow.
Yeah, my degree was soil and waste resource management from University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
Okay. It's funny how moms always know best, man. Isn't that right?
Yep.
You said the word apprenticeship. I kind of want to put a double click on that. I don't hear too many of apprenticeships around the country. I think there should be a lot more, just because we need more people in our industry, and there's no true clear path on getting into a wastewater treatment facility. So kind of run us through the apprenticeship program, what it is, what it looks like how long it is, and then I guess the graduation rate and the placement rate from the apprenticeship program.
Yeah. So we've had the apprenticeship program since 2008. Every single operator hired from that point on has gone through it. I think all but 4 have graduated, and some of those just found employment closer to, moving back home, or there was a couple that were driving an hour every day coming to work, and they found things closer, so they went their separate ways. But we have a really high graduation rate. It's a 3-year program. It requires you to take 7 classes at the Des Moines Area Community College, centered on wastewater collections, pump maintenance, equipment maintenance, basic math, and then some management techniques and styles. Then we go and we have them, they have to achieve their grade 1 within the first year, their grade 2 license or their Class A CDL within their second year, and then within the third year, they have to get their grade 2 license. And this all came about because we were struggling finding operators that were qualified at the grade 2 level that wanted to work overnights. Because in our area, there's a lot of operators and people who are willing to work. We have a low unemployment, but we're just struggling to get them to come to overnights. So it's like if we open up the pool and hire a less qualified individual, and we just say, like, we're going to hire a less qualified person, but we're going to take these 3 years and develop them into that person, the highly qualified person. That's what they decided to do, and it's been great. We have 33 operators on staff, and 32 of them, I believe, are graduates of this program.
Wow. Why is the overnight thing where they get off at?
A lot of the other treatment plants in the area they're on call at night. So if we were going to go to a different community in the area, except for I think Ames is the biggest one closest that will have 24-hour ops. It's far and few between the times they actually have to get up and go in. So they don't want to commit to that. And it's also a seniority-based rotation onto the day shift. So you might be there a decade, you might be there a year. It just depends how everything lays, and that uncertainty just didn't mesh with a lot of people then. So they developed that program.
Interesting. You said you're a trainer. Were you training like kind of complementary to the apprenticeship program, or is that something separate?
Yeah. So I administered the program. So I made sure they got into the classes they needed to get, took care of the scheduling, provided additional resources for them. And then I worked with our safety manager and set up all the safety training and kind of coordinated all those efforts with him and her at the time.
Gotcha. What are usually some of the, I don't know, the frequently asked questions or the main frequent issues of people going through the apprenticeship program? Is it math? Is it, managerial styles? Is it people just showing up or like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel? Like, what are some of
the biggest one we get is, I already have my licenses. I don't need to go.
Oh,
and it's like, oh no, we all do it. And there's some that are kind of put off by it. And then you pull them aside like, hey, we're going to pay for your class. We're going to pay for you to go get your CEUs. You might learn something. And at the end of the day, you kind of see this picture of, hey, we've all done this. There's nobody here. There's one guy that hasn't, but he was hired before 2008. So it's one of those, it's, we've all done this. It's a rite of passage, and it's just something we feed everybody into. The CDL is probably the biggest sticking point. A lot of the operators we have, they got it, and they have yet to really use it. But it was how they kind of justified the change in position to get to that specialist level.
Gotcha. What's like the main demographic that comes to an apprenticeship program? Is it kids fresh out of high school, those who might have been in the services and came back and wanted to get a career? Like what's the makeup or usually the main type of person coming through?
So for a while I adjunct for DMAC, taught some of those classes, and they actually you see a lot of second career individuals. Pipe fitters. There's like a layoff at a facility. Iowa's got a lot of biodiesel, biofuels. Yep. We see a lot of those individuals coming into this field because it's pretty related. They catch on really quick. You see a lot of individuals who decided they didn't like trucking getting into it. But we are starting to get pathways into the colleges, or into high schools, so that they're being made aware of this field because it is a great field. A lot of, if you got in really young, got into a plant like ours, you can retire in your early 50s,
Yeah, for sure. What do you say to those who are like thinking of the apprenticeship program is too big of a deal to start up in their own respective part of the state, country, world? Like, again, I don't see this around too often. What do you say to those? Just go ahead and try it out, or how to get it done?
Well, you almost have to embrace the suck. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful to get it started. There's gonna be the doubters and people write it off. But honestly, it's been good for us.
Yeah.
When we started it, the community college was basically supported by us. Now we are a minority of it. There's enough students that we're actually starting to be able to hire graduates into our department, so we're not actually stealing from a different plant or fully developing. We're getting that student that has that 2-year degree already, so we sign them off on taking the classes and fast track them.
Wow.
So it took 18 some years, but we stuck with it, and now we kind of have a feeder, and there's a handful of other communities in the area that are also benefiting from it. So it's kind of it's a good thing regionally that it was all started by everybody that was here 18 plus years ago that had that vision.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure somebody goes through the program, they get on with you guys, they go to a different city, in the state. I'm sure you're still okay with it because you fed into the community.
Oh yeah, yeah. We hate to see them go, but you love to cheer them on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, we was at WEFTech. So myself, my ops supervisor Matt Hazelwood, and then Chris Clark, our ops supervisor. We're all program graduates. And then we had another guy, Taylor Kleppe. He left our facility just before he got done with the apprenticeship because he had a great opportunity over in Clinton. Well, lo and behold, he moved right up the ranks and is now running the show in Clinton.
Wow.
Well, we ran into each other at WEFTech in Chicago last year, and it was like, look at us.
Yeah.
We were just lowly shift operators, and now we're running the things. It's cool to see that and have that camaraderie there. Just to like, that's one of our guys.
Yeah.
In that plant,
For sure.
We take big pride in that. We actually try to track it. When we have employees leave, if they stay in the field, we try to make sure we can say, this is where they are. So they left, but they didn't completely leave, right?
Yeah, for sure. Where do you get the curriculum from? Like, how was that started? Or
oh man, they developed it with the Cal State books.
Okay.
Cal State Sacramento textbooks.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't really explain the whole curriculum developing program, but they use that as a basis.
Okay.
The Water Professionals International, their certifying body, they use their need to knows as kind of the course criterias.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's cool because let's just know you're not making it up on your own because
no,
you started from scratch.
Yeah, and it's all approved by the Department of Ed, so it's gone through all its paces, and they get an actual degree for it.
Beautiful.
After the end of the 2 year,
Yeah. Okay. All right. What would you say is a skill set somebody needs to pick up to be successful at a treatment manager or as a treatment manager at Des Moines Wastewater Reclamation Facility?
Well, we got to know your acronyms. But I would say patience and situational awareness, right? The high flows, man. They'll get us up in the middle of the night. We'll have to just really watch, inches in pipes and make sure things aren't overflowing and going where they need to go, and make a call on something at 3 a.m. that you're not going to see a result until 3 p.m. So you have to play this game, and you have to know that I can't call every hour and adjust that because I don't know what it's doing yet. So you need to have the patience to make the decision and let it go. And you also need to have the situational awareness of like, okay, is this the right decision for right now? Can I justify what I'm doing? And moving all the pieces around. And part of that is the team, right? I mentioned Matt, and we have Chris, we have Brandon Lang up in our engineering department that manages the conveyance system. We have all of our other crew chiefs on the off shift, Tim and Jake, just managing things as they go through. And it's almost, you have to remove yourself and just like, you hear the thunder and it's like, they got it. They got it.
That's hard to do.
They won't call me. And it's one of those, just removing yourself, letting it go, and then when the question comes in, being able to analyze quick, make that decision, knowing how things kind of are going to fall from there.
Yeah. Okay. Story time. I need a story from Timothy. When something went wrong under your watch, what you did to fix it, and then what lessons you learned from it to apply to your future career.
Yeah. Well, patience is what I learned. This was when I was an operator still. I was in our hauled waste tank, and I was going a little too fast. And I ended up in a situation where my arm got pulled into a vacuum truck.
No.
I was stuck on the tube. Yeah. And it made full suction. I ended up bursting blood vessels in my arm.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, two guys that were down there with me, one hopped on, one kind of put me in a full Nelson, the other one hopped on the hose and got it off me. But I learned, that shook me up. We went through the process. I became the trainer, and then that job of cleaning that tank became my baby.
Yeah.
Well, I went through the paces and we engineered my mistake out.
Yeah.
So, we were using the corrugated tile to move it around and do all that. Well, we found a way to hard pipe it and have a vacuum breaker. So we're able to go and build this pipe system into the tank and have it pull from the lowest point. So they're just pushing the sludge to the middle.
Yep.
And then they don't have to move any piping when things are live. If something does happen, there's a vacuum break at the other end that they can go knock off and stop the suction at the end. So we were able to engineer that out so that it won't happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just realize that, stuff like that, it's done when it's done. Don't push too hard.
Yeah. Wow. No, I used to sell vacuum trucks, and you always think like, what would that feel like for your, arm to get caught up in that thing, and you just, poof,
Yeah, it was the longest 30 seconds of my life.
30 seconds it was in there? Sheesh.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Well, glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I always like to know what your personal and professional development regimen is like. How does Tim keep getting better and better year after year?
So this was a tough one for me. So I do a lot with WEF. I'm in the WEF Utility Management Committee, and I'm actually the chair for the Workforce Development Focus Group. And some people in our group developed a book club, a leadership book club. And I've participated in that each of the last 3 years. And it's just, simple reminders on how to handle myself and how my responses affect everybody else. If I come in the morning in a bad mood, everyone else could be in a bad mood, So it's just like being aware, taking a minute and being aware of myself and my moods and how it affects everyone else. And then just realizing I can't do it alone. So I've actually set up a quarterly lunch with my kind of supervisor team. We just go out, we make them ask 3 questions that we type out in an email, and we just go someplace, get some food. I tell them no notebooks or no notes.
Yeah.
They show up with notebooks and notes anyways. But we just have good free-form conversation, and you're able to just like casually almost solve problems.
Yeah.
And I think it just reminding myself it's not me, it's we. I can't do it all. I need all of them to help me get this done. So
yeah,
nothing too crazy, just little reminders through the day and reading a lot about stuff.
Yeah. You said you're a part of WEF. Were you at UMC by any chance?
I did not make it this year.
Okay. I was out there.
We'll be at Biosolids though.
Okay. What do you say to those who are kind of just blocking and tackling at work? They go, they do their work, they go home and don't really think about joining like a WEF or any association. What do you say to those? Maybe give it a shot.
Well, I would say there is benefit to it. But WEF is a volunteer organization. So join when you have the time to help, and you will find those that will help you as well. It's something, the more you give, the more you're going to get.
Yeah.
I was on some committees early on as a trainer. I did some public communication stuff. I didn't have the time to dedicate really to it. And it was one of these like, man, I go to these meetings. I've never met anybody. I'm not really a part of it. But when I got into the workforce sustainability group, I was really able to start meeting people, start having conversations, kickbacks. I'm like, hey, I'm having this issue. What would you guys do?
Yeah.
And get that feedback. And now I have a community of people that I can see at these conferences and get to know and learn different things. And I have a plethora of emails I can shoot off too, to say like, hey, what did you do in this? Or have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
And it's great. But we also need people who just want to come to work and keep their head down and do their thing.
For
So
sure.
I would never pressure anyone to join, but when you do, be ready to fully commit, and it's gonna be so helpful for you.
For sure. I can echo that for sure. All right. What would you say is the biggest misconception about what you do? You're at a dinner party, and of course the question comes up. So, Tim, what do you do? And you say, I'm the treatment manager at Des Moines Wastewater Reclamation Facility. What do you
Well,
think they're thinking?
most people think I'm out there doing the job of an operator,
Oh,
because that's all they can kind of picture with it.
yeah.
But I do a lot of people work, right? Hiring, writing interview questions, evals, dealing with the little disputes here and there, planning for the future, staffing changes, staffing planning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love to get out and do more of the physical, kind of get down and dirty and things, but it just doesn't seem to work that way anymore for me. And that's all right, because I got the right people out there doing all these things for me, with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely see the operator side of it, and I'm okay with that because I came from ops. I'm okay with them just seeing me as an operator.
Understood. All right. Let's say you're commissioned to put up a billboard, and this billboard is in the most trafficked area of Des Moines. What ask of your community in regards to wastewater would you put on this billboard?
Yeah, probably, obviously the don't treat your toilets like a trash can, but my biggest thing would probably be try to, think about the other end. Think about where it's going. Think about the scope of it, right? I can't treat every single minute thing that comes through the facility. There is pass through. Anyone will tell you that. And we need to be aware of disposing of things the right way. They're chemicals or whatever. I know the Moines Waterworks has a campaign. Think upstream or think downstream. We really need to think about that, right? In regards to what we're doing and everything, because we might not be piped directly to your home, but that river you like to recreate on, the eagles that you like to watch, the fish you like to catch, we all directly affect that. So
yeah. Okay. How does Tim scratch his the forester itch? You get out backpacking and you hiking in the woods by yourself, or
yeah, I'm trying to do some hunting here and there.
There you go.
Not very successful, but it's more about being out in the woods.
That's it.
My kids like being out, so we get out and go around different trails in the area. Spend a lot of time outside. Yeah, fish when we can. Yeah. Not counting any board feet. I guess really when it comes into lumber and all that, it's just projects around the house.
Yeah. There you go, from Home Depot. Good stuff. I always like to leave a space on the show for you to thank mentors that you had along your journey. And then I want you to give a word of inspiration and motivation to your fellow treatment manager counterparts across the country.
Yeah, so I'd have to start with Dr. Aga Razvi up at UW-Stevens Point. Rob McKitch, Dr. McKitch up there too. They really helped me get to where I am today. Larry Hare, my predecessor, the guy who hired me. Jerry Dunham, ops supervisor for me. He was really instrumental in helping me get here. Charlie Stevens pushed me to get active in WEF, and then Scott Hutchins, our former director, really helped develop me into this role. So I've had a lot of people help me, and I appreciate all their contributions to getting me here. Sure. Obviously my parents for pushing me to stay in school and keep doing good. Wife for letting me being okay with those late night calls and when the thunder starts rolling. But for other treatment managers, when you do get bogged down with the people stuff, you gotta remember your mission and your goal and what's going on. And sometimes it's worth it just to go look at the effluent and see literally the quality of your team's work.
Yeah.
There's days where I'll tell Matt, let's go for a ride. What do you want to go see? Let's go look at the effluent. And it's like, man, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a day, but we're doing good. Look at this,
Yeah.
And yeah, just go look at the effluent and pat yourself and your team on your back, like, right? Because when it's coming out as clear as tap water,
Yeah.
you're doing good.
Now that's a good way to kind of, reset your frame, like things could be going to hell in a handbasket. But if you look at the work that you produce, they'll go, oh, I'm actually doing something, doing something positive. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we got 50 million gallons out.
Boom. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Most important question. Let's say I'm coming to Des Moines and I text you ahead of time. I say, Timothy, where can I go to get the best burger in Des Moines, Iowa? Where are you going to send me?
You got to go to Lachelle's.
The Rochelle's? What?
Lachelle's.
Lachelle's.
Yep.
All right.
I believe the one I like is the Alex, but you can't go anything. All of them are good, and they have a special burger every day. They're smash patties. They're great.
I'm big on smash burgers. Well, yeah, thanks for the rec. Tim, thanks for hopping on the podcast today. Thanks for sharing your wealth of information and knowledge with everybody. To all the listeners out there, make sure you share this with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Tim, any final words before we get out of here?
No, thank you for having me on. You guys are interested in our community and what Des Moines is doing. You can see our stuff at dsm.cities, the city's website, dmmwra.org. I got to do a pitch for my award-winning video series.
What?
Me and Peter Zemansky with the City of Des Moines Communications Department put together a tour video series that got the NACWA National Environmental Achievement Award for public information.
Okay.
In 2023, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out, man. Gotta check that out. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thanks for hopping on. This has been the Public Works Podcast, and thank you everybody for tuning in.